until I have it perfectly aligned. Then I'll draw a 45-degree line. There are a lot of ways you could do that, but this is one of the ways you could do them. So I extend this line like that, and then remember these lines we used to make the box for the end view? We're going to make them intersect with the 45-degree line. So we make these lines intersect there. That means just dropping them. I'll connect like that. After I have the intersections, now I'll bring these lines back this side. When I do that, I have the position where my plan is going to be. We're going to use this procedure quite often. We start from the front, we go to the end, and then we come to the plan. That's how you should be drawing your orthographic drawings. Very simple procedure, but if you follow through, you'll be able to draw any question. So right now we have our width on our drawing line. We haven't measured it, but it's come because we followed procedures that we're supposed to do when we're drawing orthographic drawings. If we want that length, we already have it on our drawing. Remember, we measured it here. So we just drop this line, and it gives us our box for our plan. Now, after we have this setup done, we now just start adding details to our drawing. We already know that our plan, our front is going to look like this. So we start looking at our drawing. What is the distance that's given there? What's the distance that will enable me to draw the slope? I'll put them here so that when we start drawing, we're just referring to the distances that are already there. From the image that has been shared, you can see that the thickness of this is 15. So if I put a 15 there, all of us know what we're talking about. We already have the height. We don't need to worry about it. The next thing we want to know is the distance. That's here. But we also want to worry about that because we have a 15 given at the bottom. Yes. Okay. How to start? So you've seen this line here. You just align it directly with your set square like that. Then draw a line like that. And if you want one that's horizontal, you do the same for this one. Like that. Is that okay? So talking about distances, I'm saying we have a 15 given at the bottom there, but we don't have the distance of that other line. I'm sure because you haven't drawn before, it will be tempting for you people to want to be given all the distances, even unnecessary ones. Right? For example, if I'm given this is 15, it's not important that they should give me the distance that's there because they've given me 45 this side. 45 minus 15 will give me the distance there. And you don't need to start calculating it because if I just mark it on that rectangle that we have, it will automatically be there. If I mark this 15, I automatically have this distance here because I drew the top boundary. That makes sense? So the next distance I'm supposed to look for is the distance that's there. And if I check, it's given. This is 19. The next distance I need to worry about is the distance from here to here. They don't give it to me, but they give it in another way. They give me the distance from here up to there, and it's given as 35. With these distances I have, I'm just left with one distance for me to be able to draw this. The distance from here to here, which has been given as 25. So I'll draw this when I get there. If we go to our end view, which distances won't we have? We won't have the distance for these lines, right? So we check on our drawing, have they been given? It doesn't look like they've been given. The only distance we have is a 20. We'll get to how we'll find this later. Let's draw this and then talk about the missing parts for our end view when you draw it. I'll start with the 15 we talked about. It's a distance here. That's our 15. Next, we can mark the 19. The 19 is a distance from this corner. I mark it like that. The next distance I've been given is a 35. You can mark it from the same point. From here, and like that. The next distance is a 25, right? Now, if I look at that 25 like its coordinates, right? From here, I go 15 up, and then 25 will go towards the right, right? So I'll just get that 25 and mark it at this point. If it's confusing, sometimes what you just need to do is draw some lines. Right? For example, here, before I draw that 25, I'll draw this line here, like that. Remember, this line is going to be useful. I'll take it all the way there. I won't just end it in this view. Through the end, and then I also get these. I drop them. Now, you can easily see that that 25 is now supposed to be on this line. Doesn't make so much sense for some people, but I'm sure some are together with me. So I'll get that 25 and mark it here. I've marked it like that. I want you to be able to do this quick line. If I mark an arc like that, then this arc cannot be used on this drawing because it's marked like this, right? So the only place where it will be used is in this view. You notice all those that I was marking like that are coming down. All those are marking like that are going that side. Yes. Okay. This one. This one. Two lines. Yes. This is the top part. This line. Is it the one you're talking about? Maybe you can come and show me if you don't mind. Or I come there. You show me on the picture. Yes. Mhm. Yes, we should have it. Possibly I forgot about it. She's talking about this line, right? The way it is right now, it's this point here should have a line somewhere there. And then everything is done. It's not a problem to forget a feature. It will always show you when you're drawing, right? For example, the line she was talking about, I can easily see it's that one that was there. We'll draw it. So now, I was talking about these arcs, right? If I draw an arc that looks like that, remember that it will have a line that will move from where it's been drawn all the way down. You notice for this one, I don't take it all the way up because I know it won't be used. Sometimes you need to read the drawing and then know which parts are going to be useful. Now what I'm going to do is outline my shape from these points here in my front. I'll start with the bottom one. It's the simplest of them all. So I have outline like this. It becomes easy when you've done everything step by step. That part, and I have another one here. I'm just copying what we did there. We already answered this question actually. So this is our front view. Then we now go to our end view. I was speaking about the 20 there. Something we'll notice about this drawing, or an assumption we'll make, is that this 20, because they haven't given us the other distances, or have I missed another distance again? I can't see any other distance that will enable us to find these other parts. So when you are faced with such a situation in drawing, usually you look at the drawing and look at it critically. Just imagine this was something in real life. Do you agree with me what's on the right part here? This right space looks like it's the same with the one on the left. Yeah. So in such a situation, you're allowed to assume that this object is symmetrical about the middle point here. So what's on this side will be the same as what's there. Meaning this is going to be 10 and the other side is also going to be 10. That's the only time you're allowed to assume in drawing. If you're not being given something and then it looks symmetrical, you can easily assume like that. The other distances, I think we have them. After we do this, we'll have everything to draw a plan. Always avoid measuring anything when you're drawing the plan unless you just need to. So I'll measure the 10 and the 20. The way I'll measure it is I'll get the 10, mark it on this side, and another 10, mark it on that side. Then I'll be left with a distance that's hopefully 20 there. It might look a bit smaller than it looks there because I'm using instruments that are a bit inaccurate, but we should get roughly the same drawing. With this done, we're done with all the measurements that we need. Now, these lines are meeting with that 45. So I'll need to bring them this side. We're going to outline the end view before we come to the plan, but the end view is very simple. It's something not difficult. We have this line. And then now we need to decide which points we're going to use here. If you can do a simple sketch like that, you already know what you need to be drawing. Now, let's try building it the way we should understand an orthographic drawing. So I want us to locate this point that's here. Let's say this is point 1. Let me mark it here. Point 1. This procedure we're going to do here is very important for you to understand what we are talking about in orthographic and isometric. I'll give some numbers. It might sound boring, but yeah, it's very important. There's a 1, a 2, a 3, you can call this 4, 5, 6. So I want us to locate point 1. In our front view, point 1 is right here. In our end view, point 1 is going to be on the right part, right? Are we together? Are we going to be able to see both at the same time? So point 1, focus on point 1. I want us to see how we find point 1 in our plan. This procedure is very important when you're given an orthographic and you need to make an isometric drawing. So point 1, on that corner, right? In our drawing here, point 1 is here, and in our end, remember our end is the blue part. Point 1 should be on the right bottom corner. It's going to be here, right? So we'll follow through. A 1 there, a 1 there, and then on our plan, it should be on the left bottom, not so. So one thing I'll do is, remember, for example, when we're here, there are 2 points that are right at this part. There's one here, and there's this point here. It's behind this one, right? So the ones behind, I'll be putting a comma. So I'll say 1 comma, then I'm talking about the point that's behind. Meaning we can finish our labeling, we can say from 6, let's say we go to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Obviously, you won't be able to see 13. 14, 15, 16, 17. So at point 1, we can see 1 and 17, right? But practically, if we look at this side, 17 will be behind. That's why I put a comma. So let's follow 1. 1 is there, 1 is there, and 1 is there. The next point we want to follow is the one here, the one we are seeing. The one on top is actually 4. This point here is 4. In our drawing here, where is 4 going to be? 4 is this point. This corner here. So 4 is there. On this drawing, 4 is going to be on that point. On this drawing, 4 is going to be there. Are we together? Can we do that quickly? I'll go to 2. 2 is going to be right here. And in this drawing, 2 is going to be at this point. I'll do the same for 3. 3 is going to be here. And in my end view, 3 is going to be behind 4. I want to finish one side, then I give you the logic of how we'll go about everything. The next one is 5. 5 is going to be here. Now end view, 5 is going to be where 6 should be. So at this point, in actual sense, let me do that. Let's put 6 there and let's put 5 there so that we don't get confused here. When we come here, what we're seeing here is 6, and then 5 is going to be behind 6. Is this helping you, or you're still very confused? Are we together? If we're not together, I need to start again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want us to finish this whole face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, we haven't marked some. 1, 2. We need to find where 3 is going to be. 3 is going to be on top of 2. So instead of putting 2 first, we're going to have 3, 2. Where we have 4, we're okay. The next number we'll see, we are supposed to see is 5. Then we need 6. 6 is going to be on top of 1. This procedure here is what enables you to start making your plan view. I'll get a point like this. Know why it is on our drawing, this is point 1. And then point 1 is on this point here, because I can see 1, 2 there. And then I'll follow this line. And then match it with the line that I started from here. Are together? So it means 1 should be here, just like we said in that drawing. Then I'll go to another point. Let's say I go to this point here. I'm not going in order. This is 6. So point 6 on that drawing is the point that's going to be here. Then I'll come, point 6 still gives me a point where? Right here, not so. So I don't need to worry about it. And it makes sense because 6 and 1 are in the straight line. So one thing I want you to notice that has happened here is we won't focus on those that are in the same vertical line. We'll be moving from here, then we go to another point there. We'll skip all those that will be in this straight line because they'll all be in one line. We'll be using these that are in a vertical line, vertical point. So if I use a point here, there's no point of me getting the one here because they'll be on the same point. Let's do the same, for example, for a point here. This point here can be point 3. Point 3 is here together with 4. So if I come with it all the way, this line, I started from here, it should be on this point here. If I pick any line here, for example, I come to this one. This is point 2. Point 2 is supposed to be at this corner. If I come, you see that it's still giving me the same point because this point is in the same vertical line. So the next one I'll follow is, let's say this one here. I'll follow it all the way. This point here is point 4. It's here. I come all the way like that. I follow it. It gives me a point here. I do the same. I won't get this one. I'll get the next one here. That should be a point that we didn't put there, but we can see it's point 7, right? So we follow 7. 7 on our end view. Where is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be here. So I follow this line, and it gives me this point here. I do the same maybe for a different one. This point here, that gives me a point 10. Point 10 is here. On our end view, it's a point somewhere here. Then I'll follow the line. You see it will give me another point there. This is the procedure that we are supposed to follow if we don't have that sketch. But at least you can see part of it has been shown. You can see there's a point there, there's a point here, there, there, there. For example, I want this point that's here. I'll go to this line here and just check on this. I want a point to know if there's a point here. It should be in this line or the line that's coming from this side. If I check, that point should be a point like 8. If we focus on 8, we'll notice we have the point we want. If I'm here, 8 is going to be here. And if I follow through, it should be a point that I have here. And you need to do this procedure over and over again. The truth is, if you always go by this procedure for every point, you take long time. The secret is knowing your sketch. When you have the sketch, you just need to match a few points and then be sure you have the drawing. For example, I've seen that those points there have given me what I needed. So I'll just outline something that's similar to my object there. In cases where you have a complex drawing, you need to be able to do what I was just doing because there will be multiple lines. With this done, we'll now go to another simple orthographic and quickly draw it. Has Mr. Mvola already talked about sectioning? Not yet. Okay. So now, you can see I have one part left, the one that we had done. How can I know that there's something missing? When I'm drawing a plan view, it's like I'm looking at the top of this. So I should have each of the points that I can see. So for example, like she pointed out, we didn't have this line earlier. You can see there's an indication that there's something missing. If I follow through, I have this point here, but in my plan there's no blue line. So I simply go to the drawing, I check. Okay, I have 7, and then I have 12. They are both going to be on this point. I check 7, we had it in the first place. I check for 12, it will be a point here. And it shows me there's supposed to be a connection between 12 and 7. 7 was here, 12 was here. And in that drawing, they are joined together. So it simply indicates to me I'm supposed to have a line passing through here. And then now we can say we have completed the orthographic drawing. This is a very simple drawing. Let me check for the other drawings that we can do that will enable you to practice a bit more.